Hello. Welcome back. It looks like some problem happened, right? All right, it's okay now. Sorry for that. I didn't on the system. Okay, so now we're back with the slides. Chapter number 8. We continue to where we were. So we first introduced about the already about the social media information system. So now we talk about how we use it in the business. Before doing that, we have some things to keep in mind. First of all, social media information system is not free. So where the cost come from? At first, you need to work with the social media provider. They ask some fee in case you do some business there, like making advertising or getting more information about you can purchase some data from them. Okay, that's not much. The cost mainly for on the development of the system, development, implement, and manage. Okay, so we like for the business, we don't have any software made ready out there for this, because like we learned before, there are no specific information system for everyone, for every company. So we have to customize to implement the system, and then we need a team to do it, to develop it. Okay, and this cost somehow, even if we do outsourcing, it still require that. All right. So it's not free, sure, but we benefit a lot from the use of social media in this information system. And for the development, it's not really hard, because on the social network provider have the APIs, okay, application programming interface out there, make available the social media to developers. So like when I do the system and I want to integrate with the other social media networks, I simply integrate the APIs, right? Using the APIs, very easy. And then open source course can help a lot with that. So in case we need to develop a social media information system, we can like hire some guys, right? Some IT techs to do it with them a lot of money, right? Spending a lot of money. And anyway, the return, right? The benefit we get is much more than that, a lot, much more than that. We can use social media to do a lot of things, not only for reaching out for the customer, but also for new customer and provider. So that means new market. Okay, we reach out for new market using social media network. That's cool, because long time ago we usually do research, marketing research, like using a traditional approach. You do some survey, right? We do some survey using a form, bring it on a paper, and go down the street and send the people to the customer, right? And then asking them to return, like somehow we send 100 and get back like 10 at most. So that's bad. And more, because when we get the result using this survey form like that, it's somehow not accurate, right? We need to do some data pre-processing in order to cleansing the noise, the thing, and then finally we have very little usable data. So that's the problem. But now with the social media network, you do not need to do like we did before, right? Now we can send out the form to the social network community. That's the first step we can do, simple, right? And more, we can do like deliver some application on the social network, right? Some application like making the picture of the user more beautiful, and then as long as the user happy, the enjoyers, right, they will answer the question. They help us with the survey. Or more, we not asking them a lot because they just ask them. We do not ask them a lot. They just simply like join us, okay? Like you guys join the website, log in, and then I have your personal information, right? And then I can use some tool asking them, asking you guys to do this, do that, and then I get more. And then in return, I can do something for you. So if you do something like win-win, and then you will have more using social network easily. So that's very easy using the social network to reaching out for the customer. Very easy. I'm not sure how can we do that without the social network, because now sending mail or email or use telephone calls like cell phone, whatever, is hard, right? Because people are busy, or even if they don't, they not, and then they still like lazy of asking us, answering us. Okay, so that's the benefit we have, reaching out for the customer, reaching out for the provider as well, reaching out for new markets, and especially reaching out for the talent people, right? If we want to recruit some guys for the company, we can do that on a social network. Like go to LinkedIn, and then we have more information about them out there, so we can determine which guy really the talent one, right? Using social media. So the cost somehow, but the benefits a lot. That's the reason we use. And using the social media in the company, we can improve a lot of. We can improve a lot with this business process, and we already know that the business process produce the business value, right? The value comes from every step in the process. So now with the use of the social media, we make more value. Okay, that happens in every department. For example, in the sales marketing, it's very easy to reach out for the customer, so we reduce the cost. Like we do not pay for the cell phone, for the telephone call anymore. We do not need to pay for the email server anymore, right? Now we use a new channel to reach out for the customer, which is a social network. And customer service, wonderful. You know what? Because with the customer service, we can reach out not only for the user, but all the things the user talking about the product or service with other people or member. And through the user, we can spread out, right? The brand, the service, the products to other people that not the that are not the customer. Okay, not really the customer, but they will be the new one, right? The fresh new. And for logistics as well, manufacturing, human resource, like I said, we can use the social network to reach out for talent people. So now we can recruit them using social media network. So that means we make a lot of we take a lot of advantage from the social media, and therefore we can build a great more value, right, for the business. So that's the benefit we may have at first. And for example, using the social media in CRM, we change the way we do the customer care, right? So we reduce the number of agent, the employee in the department, because now we do everything automatically. So we pay less, right? But we still get more and more. Okay. And then if we want to do some research, okay, marketing research, and then now we have a new channel for the information. Okay, we reach out to the user, asking them, ask the audience about some service we provided, right? And asking them about what they expect, so that we can design new service, new product. And then through them, we send the service to new user, new customer, and more customer come, and we learn more and more about what they expect, and also learn about the market trends, and so on. A lot of things. Okay, with social media network in the customer relationship management or customer service. Similarly, we do the same thing. And about logistics, a lot. Sometimes we think like logistics can help, social media can help us logistics, at least with some prediction. Okay, sometimes we predict using social media. Okay, like some problem like stock price. Some people think that the stock price is not dependent on the social media, but it's a if you learn, if you check about something, some guy telling about something about the digital currencies, and then you see it go up down right away after that. So if you monitor social media, you can see how it impacts the stock market. Okay, so social media can impact everything, every domains, okay, areas in the economics. Okay, so we know that a lot of things. Okay, so for product or service, we can do a survey, right? Because after you run the service for a while, and then you can we can do asking the customer about how what they think about the product or service, or what they want to have more. Okay, that can be done using Facebook or using YouTube. Right? We post the survey, we do some video about the product, and then we stand there, and then we get the feedback. And then we can use other tools from machine learning or natural language processing in order to recognize what the key thing, the key idea to have with the service or the product improvement, okay, or redesign, for example. So a lot. So as a business student, you can try to figure out how the social media network can help, okay, with the business activity. A lot of things in many areas, not only sales and marketing, but also in manufacturing, human resource management, and even with the finance and accounting. Finance accounting, yeah. So if business want to do some finance analysis or finance ads or a lot of other things, we can use social media networks. All right, and so first step, you can see how we benefit from the social media, but more, remember that social network somehow bring the money. Okay, we talk about the social capital. They bring the money to the business. Okay, it look weird, but it's already there. It happened already. Okay, so remember in the slide, like the chapter number 2, we talk about the value we get from the number of community, right, from social network. So the more community we have in the social network, the more value we get. Okay, and then because the community represents the group of people, right, like your customer or your potential future customer and the relationship among them, right? That describe how the business or the company engage with the customer. Okay, so the more and more such relationship make more and more value for the business. Okay, and you can see that the last 2 weeks we see Facebook lose some user, right? About around 100 million users, and then they lose $20 billion. So that's the social capital. That's not the real money they lose, right? But they expect or they estimate the capital, social capital they lose. So a lot, right? So 100 million of users can hurt the company a lot. So that means the more user you keep, the more capital we have, right? Social capital we have. And all we care about that, we keep in touch with the customer, keep them, or sometimes we joke like jail them, right, in the company, don't let them go, so that we can keep the market. If we lose the customer, that means we lose the market. Okay. So so as a businessman, you know what to do next, right? We can do with the social media, a lot of other things, a number of things. So so where the social capital come from, like we said before, right? The number of relationship, the number of community, how strong the relationship with them, all of these make the capital. Okay, all of these can build a value for the business. Okay, and that's how we impact. Okay, that's how the business or the company impact the people. Okay, the customer, the everything, social life. Okay, so the use of the social media bring a lot of things, and that's why I want you guys, when doing the final project, should think about the usage of this new technology, including the social media. Okay, including social media, including the use of the internet thing, big data, data mining, machine learning. Okay, and AI in the whole, and then how to use it in the business in order to make to improve the business process. So you just simply think how to improve the business process. Like I said, the process of check out, right? When you go to the store and then you want to check out is a business process, right? So traditionally we go to the checkout line, right? There an agent or employee there help us with checking out the item. But now the company want to reduce the cost, right? Want to reduce the number of employees. They can set up the self checkout line. So add the self checkout line. That means when we set up that, we need to restructure the procedure, right? So instead of go to the waiting line, go to the line waiting for the agent, we now go to the machine, and then they set a lot of machine out there, so the waiting time reduce. Right? So that means we reduce the resource regarding the process, and then similar the step, right? Because now you simply do the thing yourself. So from the company side, less work to do, because customer do everything. You have to go there, you need to scan the item yourself, no employee do that for you. So that means less work from the company, more work from the user. You benefit from that as a company. And then check out, they have to do using their credit card, they do everything, so you don't have anything to do. But you still keep improve that, right? Once you have the self checkout line, you feel happy with that, but you want to make the customer happy more. Never stop. Okay, when doing business, never stop. innovation on the way, all the time. So now we innovation by what? Using AI, right? So customer come to the counter desk, they put the item on the counter, they search for the item in case we don't have the barcode or QR for the item. So the customer needs to tap on the screen to select the item, like he want to get apple, he want to get banana, and then they need to search from the list and select the right one and then confirm to check out. Now we do innovation by using computer vision, right? Computer vision simply like a camera that look at the item and recognize the thing for the user. So you put the banana on the counter, and then the machine say, "Oh, I know this banana," right? And then show the banana and the price you need to pay. So make similar the thing, right? Instead of searching from the list, the user just wait for the computer to get the thing itself, right? And that's it. And innovation more and more, because later on the user can, because sometimes the user wrongly check the item twice or 3 times, and then he want to cancel the transaction or to revise the transaction. Instead of asking the help from assistants, the user simply like talk with the computer, like I wrongly make the checkout twice for this item, this help, and then the computer can understand that, okay, and then can update the transaction, like remove one transaction wrongly updated or make it met, and then that's it. So that means we do innovation all the time, using many different new technology. And in your final project, you simply do like that, okay? You suggest using that technology in order to improve the business process, in order to improve the quality of the business process by restructure, by revise the resource, right? That can be done because of the help of the new technology, like machine learning, data mining, all of such things we will talk about later, and blah 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 thing, right? Blah. So so that's why I asked you to do the final project with like using the new technology in the business. Okay, when you take this class, I'm not asking you to implement or to code, okay, because that's not your job. From your end, from your side, you simply understand what is a information system, how it can help with the business, and how it can help more if using new technology, okay? And then you, as a businessman, right, in the future, you do the business, you manage, you are a manager, so you know what the business needs, right? You know about the strategy plan, and then you know the problem, right? And you know and you need to have the problem solved by using the technology and to improve the solution every day. Remember, when you have a solution, not that end, but more by innovation, right? Innovation all the time. Innovation can help the business win the market, keep the customer, and do more things. Okay. So here is the social media. It's just one of numerous new technology out there. So think about that. Okay. And then now we talk about how the social network can add the value to the business. So easy, right? You know that at least when I apply the social network into every business process, I change the way to make the value, right? So that's why we add more value to the business. I'm not talking about the social capital. We talk about the use of the social media in the business process only, and then we can get a lot. So like when I want to get your information the first time log in, I do not need to make a registration form at all. I just asking you to log in using Facebook or log in using Google. That's it, right? So I do not need to ask the user for this system anymore, but they can transfer from other social network into my system. Okay, can be transferred that way. So talking more about the benefit from using social network, we know that if we have more community, we have more user. The more user we have, the more communities we have in the future. That can back and forth increase if we do the job right, and then if we do the job wrong, like we don't care about how to keep in touch with them, like Facebook the last 2 weeks, and some user go. Remember, when user go, communities gone. Okay, they gone back. So we get more when we have them, and we lose a lot when we lost them. Okay. So besides that, you can see some example here how people benefit from the social media like YouTube. They just build some. They use YouTube as a channel, right, to reach out for their user, and because they do that, they can send out some advertising stuff, right, so that they have money, the way they earn from the social media. But besides for the business, when you reach out using YouTube, you can get more customer. Okay, so you can sell more product. So you see many company do live streams, right? Live stream in order to sell the products or service, or to help the people with using their products. So customer service also need, right? And because of the social network now is very popular, right? People every day go to the social network to check, to read, right? So if the business, the company can use social network, they can make a very strong connection, okay, a strong relationship with their customer. So every day, like the company can send a message, okay, to a group, or the company or, and then you can see like many users come to see, to read, right, to visit. And then if you do it regularly, and then you can keep in touch with your customer, right? You can improve the connection, or at least you can keep the connection with your customer. And also not also the relationship and number of user, but also the information you get, okay? Because based on what the user posts, you can learn whether they happy or not, okay? So when we collect the posts made by the user in a given community for a company, we can learn whether the user happy or not, okay? So we have such a problem like sentiment analysis. So in machine learning, we do sentiment analysis in order to analyze the text or the posts people make on the social network, and then we learn whether they are happy or not with a given service or product, right? And then based on that, we can feedback, right? We can reply to them. That's very helpful, because sometimes they are not happy. You need to find a way to help them with that, okay? Or also, we check the social network communities. We learn the problem they have, right? Some people having a problem, they not go to the company website, but they post on the social network, and then we learn from there, and then we can get in touch with them right away. Or we can like learn about the trend of the social network, like they want something new, something more, whenever, like for a holiday season, they want to travel somewhere, so we learn that using social network in order to prepare service to serve them, okay, to offer them. Besides that, we know about the social capital, right? That will be can be computed. using the number of relationship, the number of community, and blah blah blah. These are things we did before, right? So if you have like 100,000 of user, perfect. So that means you can earn more than $20,000 a month, right? Because that number of user can help you to do to earn money. And the way we compute the money and the amount of money based on the number of users, the number of relationships among them. Here is an example. There are many other models, not just like that, not like this. But the more user you have, the more community you have, the more money you have. Sure. And when you lose them, you lost money right away. And that's why these days all the business should use the social media. Okay. In the US, almost all the universities using social media network to reach out for the students and for alumni, because they want that's the way, like keeping the connection with the alumni can help them a lot. Okay, when they want to do some fundraising, alumni can help them, right? So social network help every organization, not just the business one, but also education, government as well. Government also use social network to reach out for people. Right, so you see that's the use of the social networks, like obviously most this day, and it can help a lot. Remember, it can help with every department in the company. And now you can try to figure out if you are a manager of the Department of Human Resource. How can you use social network, right, effectively? Or if you are a sales manager, you know you should know how to use social network. And besides that, when we do social network, we also have the application. Remember, these days every company always have an app. Like a newspaper also have app, right? Asking the reader to download, to implement, to install on their device, smartphones. So that application can make sure the relationship among the company and the user. Because if you still have the app there on their device, that means you still have the relationship, right? Once they remove the app, that means you lose. So how can you know that they remove the app? Very simple. By the time the user remove the app, a message can be sent to the company, right? Telling that the user just removed the app. So you need to know that, so you can try to reconnect with the user, right? You need to know that. So application on smartphones very helpful for business to keep in touch with the customer. And now remember, the user is not only the user. For many companies, user is a product. Okay, you can know about the surveillance economics. So now the user will be monitored. Okay, user will be monitored, and then the information come from monitoring will be shown to other company. Okay, with large amount of money. Okay, like Google monitoring the user when they commute every day, so it can determine how far you commute every month, every year. Such information can help with the car insurance companies, because car insurance company always care about how far you travel every month, every year, so that they will have a good plan for you. Right? When you go to a car insurance to get an insurance package, and you want the insurance company give you a best price, right? Like very low price, and the insurance company will try to do that, but they should they also need to make sure they not lose the money, right? So before giving you a like affordable price, they need to check your driving history, right? So if you are good history, you are a good driver, so you get benefit, you get a good deal. And more like you live in a very secure region, right? No car stolen or broken, so that means you get benefit, you get a lower price. Okay, so in the last 80 months, I changed my location like 3 times. Okay, so I need to inform this insurance company about that, and I see the code change. Okay, and go down because I moved to the better place, for example. But in the future, if I go to the worst place, maybe I have to pay more for the insurance. So that's how can the insurance company know that? Because they go through other company like Google. Google tell them where we go every day, right? Where we go every day. So now you see the user as a product. It's no longer a user anymore. And then we have to accept it because we now with the digital age, right? And we have to accept it. We just try to mitigate the problem with the personal information leak, but we have to accept it. Okay, so you see a lot of things we can earn from this. Something like pay per click, pay per visit is too old, too weird, right? Long time ago, but now not anymore. We pay by the watch, the look, the lens, whatever, right? The interact, because if you interact more with the website, that means the advertiser will check somebody more, for example. All right, so looking for that, you can see a lot of things come from using the social media, and I hope that you guys will explore more, okay, because you do business in the future, and then always think like a business manager, always think like that. You know what? Because people from computer science, people come from management information systems, they don't have that ability. Okay, they see the thing differently. They are tech, right? The tech think the thing. They always think about the technology like tech. That's weird. They just do the thing like machine. But for the people from the business side, somehow like have an open mind than them. Okay, I am from computer science, I know that, but because I do business, so I see the difference. So that means you have something like good to do the technology for business. Okay, and then you should take that advantage. All right, and yeah, a lot of things about mobilities. Yeah, similarly you can see. Okay, so remember, whenever you try or you plan to use social media, you should have a very specific plan, right? Like what you do, what you want to achieve, right? And so on. So here's some example. Everything we do, we need to have a plan. So social media usage is the same thing. So we do the same. Alright, so here's example. Like you want to spread your company reputation, you can do this. You want to get more user traffic, okay, web traffic, you can use that, use this, okay. Or you want to learn more, understand more about customer, you can do this or that. Here, the author not listening about some other thing cool, but in case we want to do market research, you can do what with the social media, okay. And remember, when using social media, we also have a metrics, a system of KPIs. So it looks like when you do business, even you do using the traditional approach, you also need the KPI, right? Because you need to measure how successful your plan is, or your activity or your work is. You need a system of KPIs. So here we do have the same thing. Very simple KPI like measure how you spread your company reputation, how like estimate the social capital right, you get, or measure the web traffic, for example, after using the social media. Okay, so let's use some in this. Yeah. All right. Communication using social media, we do know that, right? A system of network, a information system in the enterprise use social media. We have is SN. So here, yes, and like social enterprise social networks. Okay, and like we said before, using social network, you need to have your specific plan, and you should determine your goal, what you want to do with the social media, and what you expect or what you think you achieve, right? Okay. And remember, when working with social media, you need to follow some regulation and policies determined by the government, right? Or some laws. So you see, like Facebook recently, they have some problem with that because they didn't follow some rules, or because they're not smart enough to hide the thing they do. Okay. Google do the same thing, but Google have never get problem like that, right? They have never got a problem like Facebook. The company that steal a lot of information is the Google, not Facebook. But Google do the thing better, keep something in secret. But yeah, and so that means when we join the market, we need to follow the rule, the policies. So for example, I try to connect with you using the social media, and I have to secure the information I got from you. That's sure, absolutely. I am responsible for that, so I have to build a very secure information system and make sure that no one can hack into that, steal the information. Or in case you leave the system, like you say, I no longer using this website, and then I delete your personal information from the system as well, because making sure that no one have information, personal information leak from the system, for example. Yeah, a lot of things. Okay, so regarding the personal information or the computer information security, we will talk in another chapter, and there we can talk more about this. Okay. All right. So here is some some cultures with using the social media network. Okay, social network. This from communication department. So when you deal with the problem on a social network, what should you do? Yeah, this is from your soft skill. Okay, somehow you have something bad, you just ignore it, right? Or you should respond it, or you should deal with it, eliminate it. That depends, but we don't expect it. Okay, so now like Facebook have problem, they cannot ignore it, right? They cannot leave it there. They should deal with it. They need to respond to it. Okay, that's so the way we respond, the way we react to the problems depending on the situation. Okay. Yeah, and then we do see many other information security problems. We talk later regarding the user, regarding the social media uses. Okay. All right, and remember, anyway, even if tomorrow we have no longer Facebook, we do have other, because digital, right, is forever. Not this or that. Not, we will have not today, the other day we do have another things. Then we do have another model, because in the future social network will no longer social network. They turn out to be like metaverse, right? like something, a network, a virtual environment, in fact, okay, that allows people to be apart, living differently in order to sharing some cool thing or bad thing, that depends, and maybe doing business there. So when we have metaverse, we can join not only because for entertainment, right, but also for making business, okay, doing business out there. You can do selling the stuff, right? You can innovations, right? Create the content, sharing with other people, selling with other people in order to get money, for example. So that's the future. The more thing you get, you gain from the social network, the more money you have. Okay, so that's all about the social media uses in the information system. So in this chapter, we then talk about another modern, right, new information system. The system now no longer a business boundary system, right? That means it's not no longer used in the business only, in the company only, but like it stand outside the company, right? So not internal, not inbound, but now outbound of the company, because of the iteration of the user, customer, and their communities. We turn them into a part of the business. So in the modern companies, models, user will be a part, okay? User will be a component of the companies. They no longer have a fence among the user, the customer, and the company. No longer, okay? And if we can make that possible, so that means we get more capital, right? More money, right? Because we learn about how to compute the social capital from the number of users and the community we have by using the social media, okay? And not only that, using the social media, we benefit a lot. Like for every department in the company, even if the manufacturing or the finance and accounting department, we can benefit from that. Okay. For example, in the for the finance and accounting department, we somehow want to check the user credit, right? User credit can come from the social network. I do know that because many banks in Vietnam using that, and because a long time ago I do a project for them to compute the customer credit using the social network. In the US, we do have a system of credit score, right? Every person have a bank account with the credit card can get credit score. That depended on how you spend and you run your financial plan, right? So you have a score. So like when the bank or the company want to check my credit, they simply check my ID. I have a number, then they check in the system, and then they will say like this guy have like 700 or 500 or 470, whatever, a number like that. But if your credit score run down like below 450, and that's bad, right? Because you cannot do anything, even rent a car. When you go to a car renting service to rent a car, to run around or to travel, and then they will check your credit, okay, using the system like I said. And then if they find that your credit is below 500, they will say no, or they will ask you to make deposit. So you need to deposit like $200 in order to rent a car. Otherwise, if you have a good credit, and then that's good. Like sometimes when I was student, I rent a car. They asked me to to deposit. But now when I create a card, they no longer ask for that, right? For example, so when you do your job, you get a better credit, and then that's good. But in Vietnam, we don't have the system like that, right? I have never seen a credit score for me in the bank Vietnam, and then so they have to check using many different channels, right? And social media is a channel for that. Okay, so in Vietnam, they smart. They show the way to do the credit score test checking. Yeah, and then what else? You see that how the company can benefit from this. So remember, we do have many ways to use the social media, like I just said. Even if you the Department of Finance or Department of Accounting, in case they need to check the credit score of a customer, they can use the social media network. So they simply go there, check the community, how many connections this guy have with others, and then based on the reputation, right, of the others or the community that use this guy choice, we can estimate this credit score for the guys. I do the model a couple of years ago using that. Yes. Then that's it for the chapter number 8, using social media in business information systems. So I also reveal the things, right? So now we will do a quiz for chapter number 8, right? So get ready now. Any question first? If you do have question, feel free to ask me. I don't see any questions since first meeting. Have not seen anything, any questions. So feel free to ask me using the chat box, or if you want to talk, simply like turn on the mic on the Microsoft Teams and say out loud. I can hear it. Any question? It's okay. It's good. It's good to ask. Okay. So now I loading the question as well. Select the chapter number 8. So we do have the first question for chapter 8. Now you need to submit your work, and I will be sending the second question. Now the third question for chapter 8. So you have 3 questions for chapter 8, and today we also have 4 questions for chapter 7. So now I will try to send 1 question for chapter 2. So the chapter number 2 is about the collaboration information system. you need to get ready now, and then now a question for chapter 3. Alright, that's it for our quiz. And now we're back to the chapter number 9. So in this chapter, we again talking about novel information system. A novel information system, very new novel, okay, information system, and we having traveling across multiple information system level, like the traditional one, the perspective one, special one, and now we go to a novel one that do some more thing, somehow like we say cool, wow thing, because it have more with the business activities, not only for the current but in the future as well. So why we have it, how it can help. So far we learn about using some information system that can help us to store the business data in the system, doing some data manipulation, like adding more using insert, right? Modify them using modify, right? Or update, delete them, remove them, right? So such activity like we call for data manipulation. And after that, we can select the data from the system, right, to make the report. So we can have the finals report, finance report. We have the accounting report. We have the receipt, the order report for many different departments in the company. So such information, we call them the traditional one. Okay, even if the advanced like the ERP or the CRM. Now we go to a novel one. That's a new level where we can do more things with the data. Okay, not just like store the data and report back, but now we do more things like data analysis. Okay, so that's system named the business intelligence systems. So why should we need it? Okay, how can we use it, and how can we make it working? So in order to have a business, a BI information systems, what should we prepare for? Okay, and what benefit from using it, and what happen in the future for the BI? Right? So a lot of things like this. So first of all, we talk about what is a BI systems. So it's very simple. In the business, in the company, we have the data, right? Because it comes from the information system. It may come from the ERP system. It may come from CRM or whatever system. So we have the data. And then we integrate with the social network, right? So we have more data. We call the data from social network, social data. And then we somehow budget, okay? We get all the data from some data broker companies, okay? So we have more data. And we integrate together with the employee knowledge. So the worker in the company, they have some experience, right? They have some knowledge. You can combine them. So all of these come together. Okay, make possible the work of BI. So business intelligence come from here. This is a set of application using the data like we have from the left hand side, doing some data analysis like this, reporting, mining, big data analysis, and knowledge management. All of such works will be done using the BI. And in order to produce some like valuable things, okay, for the company to support the business activities. Okay, so this is a higher level of using the data, right? Of using data, using business data. It doesn't look like we do with the information system, because in the traditional information system we have the data, right? We store them and manipulate them and report them back. Okay, but here we analyze the data. So that means we cook the data, right? We cook the data. We have rice, and then we put in the bag. We get from the bag to have the rice. That's it for traditional information. But now with the BI, we cook the rice. Okay, we cook the rice because we can eat it. Okay, we cannot. Oops, excuse me. We cannot have the rice without being cooked. So BI do something like new, right? Make something new and valuable. Okay, that's the reason we use it. So how can the organization use it, or how can we do it? we do the business with it. So BI can help with every domain, right? Any department in the company. For example, for project management, it can help us to monitor, to make the plan, to schedule, and then to verify. Okay, everything we do with the project management. For problem solving, it can help us to do some model creation, model application, and model validation. Okay, BI can help with model. That means a system of formulas like in mathematics, or a machine learning model to learn something from the data and to do something like prediction, for example. So using the model, we can solve the problem, right? Even a math model, we can do problem like compute the summary, the total of the two numbers, right? We can use the model. And BI here to help us with that. Also, BI can help with decision making. Okay, so for some employee, some manager at the tactical or strategic level, they need to do some unstructured decision. Okay, it looks like a dynamic decision. So with the help of BI, they have more information to make sure that they make the right decision. Okay, so BI can help with that. And besides that, BI can do some more thing, even more information. So something that can help to keep the to help the manager at the middle level to do the right to choose the right operation to deal with some problem, or solution to deal with some problem. Yeah, that's the way we can use BI. And then this some example. The first example is when we use the BI to analyze the data, like the number of items we sell every month. So month by month we have the inventory information using and the sale information, right? So use BI, we can analyze and see the patterns, see the trends of the selling information, right? So the number of items sold every month will show up, and then BI can learn from that to see the patterns. So that means it can see the up or the down in the time series numbers. Okay, they may go up at the season, at the holiday season, or they may come down in the summer or whatever, as you can see. So that helps the manager to do to have a proper inventory plan, right? We have to restock merchandise enough to repair for the market, for example. Or for example, at the Netflix, they use the BI to predict how the contents people may use for the entertainment, right? So they prepare that ready, or they have to like prepare for the network infrastructure, okay, the connection, in order to have the customer enjoy the stuff, right? For beside that, talking about the car insurance, because I think that's better than this predictive politely. So for the car insurance, you know what, the company always care about how to make a good deal for customer, but also making sure that the company benefits, right? Because we cannot like run the business for free. So how to make a good deal for customer? So the company need to use some models, right? Some prediction models in the BI system to predict, okay, how likely a car model will be stolen or broken in a given area, in the area where the customer stay. Okay, based on that we compute a good deal for them, right? So if they live in a very secure information region, like they have a garage, they always park the car in the garage, and people living around like good neighbors, so they may reduce the cost, okay, because they may rest assured that there will be no problem with this customer, okay. And how can they know that? They should use the historical data, right? So where the data they can use? First of all, they have the data about their customer before in that area, right? And besides that, they may purchase. You see, in the BI model, we always have the purchase data. So purchase data for the car insurance, maybe they purchase some data from DMV, okay, Department of Mobile Vehicle, okay. So it looks like in Vietnam we have Bộ Giao thông Vận tải, right? In the US they have DMV. It means everything about the moving stuff like car, trucks and motorbike, right? And whatever. So the insurance company can get the information, the data from DMV. They purchase some data from that, or they may purchase data from other data broker company as well. So they have a lot of data come together and using BI to analyze, to predict, to measure, to estimate the risk for given customers. So based on that, they may have a good deal for the customer. Okay, so both sides have win-win, right? 50-50. Okay, so that's very helpful using the BI. Before that, if we use information system, no way, right? Because the information system don't know about that. It's simply the system of information. Okay? It does nothing about data analysis. So that's the reason we need the BI in the business. Okay, and we can find many other things regarding the other service, like healthcare. You know what? Healthcare very important. And in developed country, that's a kind of interesting service. And then we, the business also, the company working in the running in that area should be careful about the future, right? The prediction, and then BI is a must. Okay, so that's in summary, we should say that BI is very helpful for business, because not only the information, right, but also the new or somehow like actionable information, right, that help the business doing running a good plan, strategy in the future. So what are the primary activities we can do in BI process? So what it does when it has the data. Remember that BI requires data, right? It needs data. Even the data, internal data or external data by purchasing somewhere. But it needs the data. So starting from left hand side, we have data source. Okay, remember here, data source may be the operational or the transactional database, right? So the transaction every day for the business. So this is internal data, right? This. And maybe we have social data, right? So here we have, and some purchase data, and some other kind of metadata or knowledge come from the employee. All of these come together. So after having this source, the first step of the BI is to collect, to get the data. So they acquire the data from this data, but we need to do something like acquisition, because all the data from the left hand side cannot be used right away, right? It needs to be processed. So the first step or the very primary activity in the BI is to deal with data acquisition. Okay, so data acquisition will be like that. What? Get the data, cleanse it, okay, cleansing, okay, and organize it in somehow usable format. Okay, annotated. Okay, catalog it or annotated. So to describe it in the way we can use. Okay, because data come from many different sources in many different forms. Now we turn them into usable form, clean, no noise, no missing value, no dirty stuff, whatever here come in this step. So this step called the data acquisition. Okay, so after done with this, the data ready to go for data analysis. So the next activity is to analyze the data. The data come from the first step. Okay, so when analyze them, what we have report. We can output the results somehow like a pivot table. Is good, right? Because that's simple thing. Or we can do some data mining. So what data mining we will talk more later. Or we can do some big data analysis. Or we can discover something helpful, store it for the future by using knowledge management, because something cool, new, that means the knowledge. Okay, we learn from data. So the second activity is to analyze the data, and the third one, the last one, is to publish the results. That means after doing the analyzing, we have result, right? We can print out, we can put on a server, report on the server, we can report to put to the report server, or we can do some automation like send across multiple group or change this or that, whatever. Okay, our match ready for the request. Request here is the knowledge worker. The guy is like manager. Okay, the strategic or tactical manager trying to use the valuable information from BI. So by two ways, they can send the request and get the results. So this way we can say the BI pull publish, okay, or the BI can automatically send to the user like using push public. So that two way the BI can send the result to the end user here. The end user here is somehow like very knowledge worker, okay, not operational worker. Okay. So here maybe they are an expert in the area, the area or the domain they work. Okay, maybe they are finance analysts, specialists, or maybe the CEO, right? Or the CTO, CFO. All of these guys can use the result from BI. Okay, and and then that way the company can improve, can revise their strategy plan for the future. Okay, like after the CFO see the report, he makes some modification, right? Revision for the plan regarding the financial department, and after that report up to the CTO or the CFO, the CEO, and the CEO can revise the plan of the entire company, for example. So that's why BI can help. Okay, but in order to do that, BI need a lot of tools. So here we can see some simple tools that BI can use. First of all, we have the query, right? You remember the SQL, right? SQL SQL that can help to extract the data from database, okay, and report in the form like this. Or we can use SQL to make the pivot table. So here is symbol table, and now you can see using the SQL we can have the pivot one. So here is a pivot table. So it's no longer a symbol table, right? But it can turn into two dimensions. Right? This row, this column, and this row to report different things, and with the content in the middle here. So this is a a pivot table. I'm sure you know about that because if you learn Excel, right, you know how to do the pivot table easily. The pivot somehow summary the thing, right? So if you want to have summary information by summarize some columns or some row, you can use pivot table. So here customer summary, you can see that. Okay, and blah blah. I think we know that. And if you use Excel, you can do it. Here the author using Access, Microsoft Access, so similarly. Okay, so you see that using the BI at the first step with the SQL, we can produce some pivot results. Okay, very helpful. At least can help us to have a lens, right? A very brief or simple, fast look at something. Okay, and then in case we want to look more in detail, we can use other tool from BI, right? So yeah. Excuse me, I need to talk with my. Hello, I have meeting now. So that's show us some application of BI, right, to support business activity. So if you compare with the traditional information, you can say we benefit more, right, if using BI. So and that's how the company can use BI. So now we try to answer the question how BI can do that. Okay, how the BI systems can do that. So in order to handle a large amount of data like we see before, right, like the data from the internal database, the data come from social network, the data come from third parties, or the data we purchase outside of there, right, and the knowledge as well. How can BI manage all of this? They use a tool named data warehouse. Okay, so data warehouse, warehouse of data, right? It looks like a store, like a very big store to handle all the data all together. And in information technology, we have tools for doing that. Okay, and that's data warehouse. So how the data warehouse can help, how they use them, and what we benefit more. We'll talk about that later. Okay, so today for the first two chapters, number 7 and number 8, right, we talk about the advanced information systems, right, which are CRM, ERP, and AI, right, and what the benefit we have from using them, including the social media information system as well. So we learn a lot of new things, and we also know the benefit, the more benefit we get. And in the chapter 9, we just have a very quick glance, right, fast look at another novel information system with a powerful tool to support data analysis, which is BI, right? And then the next meeting we will talk more about BI and how it can help with the modern company, right? The company using the technology. And yeah, that's it for the presentation. Now I need to we will stop here because we want to keep some time to talk about the final project, and also about our meetings, the next meetings, right? So I want to shut down the website now, and all of you need to go back to the Microsoft team, right? Now we need to go back there.